Okay, so this was unexpected. Niantic completely stopped the Pokecoin Rework testing that was going on in various parts of the world, and it looks like they are outright canceling the rework for Pokecoins and how we can obtain them for free. Now, there's a lot of implications behind this, and I do have a theory for why they completely stopped this Pokecoin Rework testing. And yeah, this is going to be pretty bad for rural players and for people who are free to play. But I do think there's a lot of hope that we can have when it comes to this, and I really hope Niantic is paying attention to their community and what they want moving forward. But in any case, yeah, I'm going to be talking about all of this in today's video. Let's roll the intro and get right into it. How's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Count, here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Pokecoin Rework. There is a final chapter to this entire saga, and it may not necessarily be the best news for rural players and for people who are free to play. So the Pokecoin Rework was an upcoming planned change to how we can get Pokecoins in Pokemon Go. They were moving away from the current system where you could only get Pokecoins for free through gym battles, and they were adding a whole bunch of daily tasks that we could do in order to obtain Pokecoins. But they were testing this out, and it seems like they were just not happy with the system, and they were taking a lot of the player feedback and rolling with it. So we're going to be talking about this, and yeah, I just think this is some bad news for people who are free to play, as well as rural players who do not have access to gyms. And I have a personal theory regarding why they completely removed the Pokecoin Rework, and yeah, it's going to be pretty controversial. But before we get into that theory, let's talk about this Pokecoin Rework. What were the implications behind this? Well, for the most part, it was definitely going to help rural players. I mean, a lot of rural players complain about how they do not have any Pokestops and gyms near them, so of course getting Pokecoins for free was always going to be really difficult. A lot of people that I talk to who play in rural areas, they say that they have at most maybe 1 or 2 gyms within a 10-mile radius, which is absolutely bonkers if you think about it, considering that if you want to get 50 Pokecoins every day, you need to have at least 8 hours of gym defense time before the Pokemon is knocked out. And that's going to be extremely difficult, if not impossible, if there's only 2 gyms within your entire area. And of course, that gym also needs to be active, where you have members of other teams knocking out your Pokemon regularly. That is just simply not going to be a reliable source of free Pokecoins for a rural player. So giving them different avenues for collecting Pokecoins was always going to be a welcome change, and this was exactly what they were testing over time. But of course, the Pokecoin Rework was not positively accepted in the beginning, mainly because there was a rating requirement to getting your Pokecoins. So that means that players who did not actively raid were not able to collect all 50 of their free Pokecoins every day. But of course, players were giving that feedback all throughout the testing phase, so Niantic made the change and removed the rating requirement from the Pokecoin Rework. But of course, this led to a lot of players just getting Pokecoins for absolutely no effort. At least with the old system, yes, even though rural players do get the shaft, it was still requiring a lot of effort in order to get your 50 Pokecoins a day. You still had to travel to gyms, and you still had to battle them and defend them in order to collect your full 50 Pokecoins every day. So obviously it was going to require some effort. You can't just get all 50 of your Pokecoins from home, and this Pokecoin Rework probably had that as its main issue, and that was probably something Niantic was looking to address before rolling this out worldwide. And this ultimately leads to my theory on why Niantic completely removed the Pokecoin Rework testing and probably nixed every single plan that they had for the Pokecoin Rework. And it's mainly because players were getting Pokecoins for absolutely no effort. And instead of spending money in the Poke Shop, they were just collecting 50 Pokecoins every day for no effort at all. And I really think this is the big reason why they just completely removed the Pokecoin Rework system and were not able to find a good middle ground for getting players engaged in their game while also rewarding them with premium currency. And I do think this is something that a lot of players are going to look at and roll their eyes at, considering that for the last couple of months, Niantic has been notoriously implementing a lot of greedy practices and greedy mechanics. And I really think the player base has been fed up with how Niantic has been treating their game when it comes to monetization. So giving them this new Pokecoin rework could have been something that a lot of players would have seen as a positive step. But of course, on Niantic's part, they did need to balance it, so it was going to require some effort, and you weren't just getting the premium currency for absolutely no effort, because that would have devalued Pokecoins and it would have been a detriment to the game, even if players would have loved it. So yeah, I'm pretty positive this is the reason why the Pokecoin rework was canceled, but this doesn't solve the issue that's currently in hand, and that is that rural players really have no avenue of getting free-to-play Pokecoins. And it's really unfortunate because this has been Niantic's struggle for pretty much since the beginning of the game, and yet they've continuously failed to address it. And this Pokecoin rework was supposed to be their way of addressing it, so I really hope they do not completely abandon this and they just work on something that actually works. Again, this thing had a lot of potential. It was just on Niantic to come up with a very balanced system, and unfortunately they were just not able to. But hopefully maybe after this pandemic is over and they are able to dedicate more resources to something like this, that they will actually find a system that will not devalue Pokecoins, but will also give rural players a chance to get free-to-play Pokecoins. I know a lot of players are going to complain, and I know a lot of players are going to be unhappy about this, but I do think there is a sense of hope, considering that this Pokecoin rework in general was Niantic's way of recognizing the issue and trying to come up with solutions, which at this point is all that we can ask for, because when it comes to rural gameplay, I mean, just speaking from a game developer point of view, this is an issue that I feel like is just extremely difficult to address, and I feel like us as players at the very least need to keep giving that feedback to Niantic so that they are aware of all of these sort of issues. And then on top of that, I think players should be as active as they possibly can on Niantic Wayfarer, because the more Pokestops that we can add to our neighborhoods, the more gyms that we can add as well. And the more gyms that we have, the more opportunities there are for players to be able to raid and do gym battles and collect free Pokecoins and all of that. So if you want to contribute to the solution, then this is your immediate way of doing so. But in any case, yeah, I really hope Niantic figures this out, because when it comes to Pokemon Go, it's definitely a game that's worth enjoying, but it's all going to be up to Niantic to fix a lot of these nagging issues that have been plaguing players for years, especially rural players. But yeah, now one last thought that I have regarding this whole thing. I really think Niantic needs to start moving towards consumer friendliness, because for the last couple of months, Niantic has been a top 3 grossing mobile game worldwide, so it's not like they need additional money. Of course, they do have to please their stockholders and all of their investors, so I do understand that they have to kind of maintain and be consistent when it comes to how much their money they're making, but they could do this without hurting the consumers. They can do this without making any sort of greedy monetization practices. So I really think that when it comes to 2021, Niantic needs to explore more friendly, non-greedy ways of making money in Pokemon Go. I think it could do them a whole lot of good in the long run, because if you look at other games like League of Legends and Clash of Clans, yes, they have some greedy monetization practices within them, but they've toned it down enough where they've kept their players engaged in their games. And I really am afraid that Pokemon Go is going to tilt into an unhealthy territory and lose players by the droves, because I think the more important metric, as opposed to how much revenue you're making, is player engagement. How many players are active in your game is going to be a much more valuable number compared to how much money you're making every month, because the more players that are playing your game and that are happy playing your game, the more money you could potentially make, even if you are not outright trying to get money from them. So yeah, these are just my thoughts on that. And and hopefully in regards to this Pokecoin rework system that they continue to explore different ways to be more consumer friendly. But yeah, these are all my thoughts and opinions regarding everything that's currently going on with Pokemon Go in relation to Pokecoins. I would love to know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Definitely let me know what you think about the Pokecoin rework getting canceled. What do you think Niantic could do to fix the Pokecoin issue for rural players? I would love to know your thoughts. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. Be safe, have fun, and I'll catch you all later.